show on YouTube at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe, be sure to comment along. Appreciate everybody that's going in there and getting things going for us. Goldfinger123, Fred Records, Jacob Eric, all already in there. Daniel Batista, appreciate everybody for rolling through in our YouTube comment section already within the show. Big show. Lots I want to get into today. Spurs, new arena. Is it time to switch our mentality on San Antonio and what they should be? Jason just brought it up, and I put in the topics, and I kind of agree with him in a sense, even though it makes Joe's head explode. And the big news of the day, the salary cap being set way higher than anyone expected. And what had happened is the NFL announced that the 2024 salary cap is increasing 13.6% up to $255.4 million per team. That is over $30.6 million per club increase. And the result of this is the full repayment of all the amounts that were advanced by the clubs and deferred by the players during the COVID pandemic, as well as the extraordinary increase of media revenue for the 2024 season, i.e., TV contracts, streaming, all of the media revenue that came in for this past season. That's a lot of money. And it really benefits those that already have money. And I'm just going to break down for you real quick, according to Over the Cap, where we stand now that the salary cap has been set, what it means for teams moving forward. The Dallas Cowboys have 8 million over the cap. So they are far less over the cap than expected. The problem is when you get down to the bottom, the Saints are already doing their salary cap gymnastics that they seem to do every year in order to get under the cap, freeing up about $23 million by restructuring Derek Carr's contract. The Dolphins, as you can tell by what they've done today, releasing Emmanuel Ogbah, the pass rusher, and all-pro cornerback Xavier Howard. He will be, when the new league year starts, he will be designated a post-June 1 cut, which will save them money against the cap because they are over $38 million over the cap. The Chargers are $22 million over the cap. So the Cowboys not in as bad a situation as a lot of other teams and can quickly get under the cap just by releasing one player. Michael Gallup, as a post-June 1, would save them $9.5 million in cap space. And they don't even have to release him. There are a multitude of things they could do in terms of restructuring Zach Martin or other players, getting a DAC deal done, getting a CD deal done. These are all ways that they can open up money. There are a ton of teams in a bad spot, but more than anyone, the Buffalo Bills are in a lot worse spot than I thought. They went all in when they went out and spent all that money on Von Miller. And that move did not pay off. And they went and got Stephon Diggs. And Stephon Diggs, while he has been a good player for them, he comes with seemingly drama every single offseason. So the Bills moving on from Stephon Diggs and trading him this offseason actually would not surprise me at this point. I don't think it's a wise move, but in terms of where they are as the team with the least amount of cap space, as they are over $41 million over the cap, I could see it. There are a lot of moves on our SA Sports Star YouTube section. In the comments, Joshua Jimenez says Xavier Howard to the Texans. Look, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Goldfinger123 says Texans might be interested in Agba. Wouldn't be mad at that either. Couple of positions of need. Um, Others saying the Cowboys should restructure Terrence Steele. That's one of the moves that they can use to get under the cap. Look, the Cowboys are in not an enviable place being over the cap, but it's not as bad as it's believed. And the Commanders have the absolute most amount of cap space to be able to spend, as they have over $87 million in cap space coming into this season. The Patriots are right behind them at 82 million, Bears at 80, Titans at 78, Bengals at 72.8, Colts at 72.232, and the Texans have the seventh most cap space with over $67.5 million to spend this upcoming offseason. But remember, they also have some of the most amount of free agents. So they're going to be doing this dance of, do you bring back the Dalton Schultz? Do you bring back um, players that they signed on 1-year deals? A big help to the team this past offseason, or this past season. Their own third round pick, Jonathan Grenard, one of the holdovers from the Bill O'Brien era, um, had a phenomenal year, 12 and a half sacks. Does he get paid? He's reportedly looking for over $20 million per season. John McClain, not sure what's going to happen there with that. So it's going to be very interesting to see who the Texans, of the players that they had on all these 1-year deals, decide to bring back into the fold. I imagine Dalton Schultz is going to be one of those guys they bring back. Although, what's the cost that Dalton's looking for? Because that's the reason he's not in Dallas. He thought he was worth more than the market dictated, and the Texans ended up getting him on a 1-year, very team-friendly deal in terms of go out there, prove it, and see if you can make what you think you're worth. So, did he enjoy playing with CJ that much to where he's willing to sign a longer-term deal for less than what he initially thought he was worth? It's gonna be very interesting to see what the new salary cap means for the rest of the league, especially with free agency fast approaching. And we've already seen the devaluation of running backs. I don't expect that to get better. I do expect a couple of running backs to get paid, unlike last year, where 6.5 million to Miles Sanders and 6 million to David Montgomery were your two kind of big profitable deals for running backs. I do expect more than that doled out on the likes of a Saquon Barkley or a Josh Jacobs, maybe even a Derrick Henry, but not much more. I I don't see teams going over, let's say, $9 to $10 million per year on a running back deal, especially when 3 years Saquon's going to be 30, 3 to 4. Josh Jacobs, same thing, and Josh Jacobs had a heavy workload. So it's going to be worth monitoring because we have the combine next week, and the combine's going to be a big part of it. Free agency, the draft, they play a blitz just a few minutes ago talking about how the Cowboys make sure that they fill needs through free agency to where they can kind of dictate the draft and let it go where it takes them. I think that's the best possible scenario for any team. I don't think you wanna overreach in free agency. I don't think you wanna overreach in the draft. I think there's a nice one hand washing the other when it comes to that, and that, to be fair, I think the NBA's a similar thing when you're talking about a mix of youth and veteran experience, and that's something that the Spurs currently just don't have, is a lot of veteran experience. And the youth, you're seeing the struggles on. It's going to be, for the Texans, for the Cowboys, very, very crucial what happens over these next few weeks as we lead into the draft season here at the end of April. That's going to be massive. I'm going to have Joe Reinagel from the Blitz joining me here in just a few minutes as we talk about what is the perfect strategy for the Dallas Cowboys and how best should they attack this offseason. That's coming up right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Wade Phillips joining us here in studio on the Blitz. Business decision versus a winning decision. Is Jerry more about business than winning?
No, he's all about winning. And not anything against other owners, but his bottom line is to win. If there's a player out there that you convince him we need to win, he's going to pay the money to get it.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the all-new TaylorMade QI10 Max Driver, combining TaylorMade distance with the forgiveness of 10K inertia. Experience your drives in 10K. Visit us in-store for a free custom fitting at your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait, text ENERGY to 200-300.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Guys, let's get real about your hair loss. How long have you been wearing a hat, hiding thinning hair, or a rapidly growing bald spot? Just stop it. You're not a 12-year-old little leaguer, you're a grown man. It's time to take action. Let the hat go and get your real hair back permanently with Bosley. You heard that right. Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can give you your real hair back permanently. And right now, Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone that texts SHOW to 200-300. Plus, text right now and get a link to this month's incredible deals. Join the millions of people who come to Bosley and see just how awesome your hair could look. Text SHOW to 200-300 for your absolutely free information kit and a free $250 gift card off, plus a special link to incredible deals. Text SHOW to 200-300 now. Text SHOW to 200-300.
Hey, it's Jim Rome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Appreciate y'all riding along. You can always call into the show, 210-656-3776, 833-776. But right now we go to the Buyers Barricades guest line and welcome in co-host of the Blitz, Joe Reinagel, as they all were talking about the Dallas Cowboys earlier today and the best way for them to approach the off season in terms of what they needed to address this offseason more than anything. And I tend to lean to agree with you in terms of where they need to address their the most. And part of that is right up the middle is defensive tackle and linebacker, not necessarily in that order. But I can also see offensive line being a huge issue knowing the free agents that they have this offseason.
Well, yeah, Pledge. I mean, that's the whole thing. The Cowboys need a lot of stuff. But I chose linebacker as the number one priority for the Cowboys simply because they can't stop the run. I mean, that's a huge problem for that team, and it has been for the last couple of years. So I think they've got to address that, and you can't get it done with trying to undersize guys. You need some beef there, especially a middle linebacker. And, you know, Leighton Vander Esch was the guy. He did a great job, but looks like he's not going to be back. So you're going to have to go out and find somebody. And John Machota, who was on with us earlier, said he thinks they should do that via free agency. Whether they will or not, I don't know. But I tend to agree with him. I think you need a veteran, physical linebacker that can stuff the run.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that the teams that could run the ball this season made it a point to not just run, but run right at them because they did not have the size to be able to shed the blockers at that second level to make plays. And once Leighton Vander Esch went down with that injury, it was amplified tenfold. So I agree with you in the fact that linebacker is a massive need, mainly just because they just don't have any. It was Leighton Vander Esch and a bunch of safeties playing linebacker on this team. But then I look at the other side of the ball, and if you're about to invest $60 million in Dak, which we all agree that they're about to do because there's nothing else that they can do about it or that they will do about it, right? In your main priority to make sure that you take care of the biggest investment on your team?
Well, sure. I mean, they got to do something with the offensive line. I get that. And like I say, there's so many things that they need. So, I've seen several mock drafts, Pledge, and I kind of agree with this scenario. And I think an offensive lineman is a guy, you can draft a guy like that, right? And he can come in and he can make an impact right away. So I think that that's probably where the Cowboys are going to go with their first pick in the draft. But then after that, I think they will address linebacker. Even if they do go out and get somebody, I think they'll still draft linebacker and then maybe start looking for a running back after that. But, no, I totally agree with you. And then you got to figure out what you're going to do with Tyler Biadasz. I think they need to pay the guy. What do you want to do? You're talking about your number one guy in Dak Prescott, and you want him to start over with a brand-new center? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think they have to bite the bullet and try to pay that guy. So now the offseason is going to be fascinating with the Dallas Cowboys because, as it always is, but they got a lot of holes to fill and a lot of decisions to make. And I think some of those decisions might end up being tough for them. And we may see some guys leave that they necessarily don't want to leave. So it's going to be interesting.
And another thing and this has bothered me ever since it's happened, is what feels like being taken out of context over and over and over again. And it is this quote by Jerry Jones.
I would anticipate, with looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, we'll be all in. I would anticipate we'll be all in at the end of this year.
Now, I have an issue with it because if you break down what he said, and this was when they were at the Senior Bowl and ready for the game. And Jerry Jones said, I would anticipate with looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, we will be all in. I would anticipate we'd be all in at the end of this year. That is exactly what he said. And the key part of that is with at our key contracts that we'd like to address. Well, we all know the key contracts they'd like to address are CD, Micah, and Dak. That's all into them. And it's been all into them for the last 10 to 15 years. They're not going to be a player in free agency. And I find it very hard that they would be a player in free agency unless they're able to get those deals and a bunch of other restructures done that open up the money that allow them to be able to make moves in free agency. Otherwise, they can't.
Well, just think about it, Pledge. I mean, even if you open up some money, which they're going to do, mostly Michael Gallup is gone, so they'll save about $9 million there. That gets them to even.
Mm-hmm.
So restructuring Dak, maybe that'll somehow save them about $20 million. I mean, you're going to have to restructure a bunch of guys. I think Zach Martin's another guy they may try to restructure. Terrence Steele is another guy.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be able to chip away, but you're absolutely correct. To be able to go all in the way you and I look at it, like the Rams did and the Tampa Bay Bucks did, they're just not going to be able to. So I agree with you. I think Jerry Jones is talking about getting his own guys done. The three that you just mentioned, and I absolutely think they have to do Tyler Biotish. And it may cost them too, because there's going to be some teams that will probably up the ante on him. But I just don't see them going into next season with a brand new center. And then you've got Tyron Smith. What are you going to do with him? Are you going to bring him back, or are you going to let him go? And I think it depends on how much money he wants to make. So it's going to be fascinating to watch. But I just and I've said it before, the window for this team was wide open last year, and they didn't take advantage of it. And I think it's closed about halfway at least for this season. I just don't see this team being as good next year as they were last year.
Yeah, and Tyler Biotish, I just, if he hits the open market and somebody offers him, I think he's gone because they're not going to franchise tag him. And if that's the case, I would definitely keep an eye on a guy like Jackson Powers Johnson, the center from Oregon, as someone that I do believe that they would target in the first round of the draft, because he feels a lot like a year ago Tyler Linderbaum did when he was taken by the Ravens in the first round and was just head and shoulders. That dude's a center that whoever takes him is going to have that position solved for 10 years. And
yeah, true.
This kid from Oregon feels like that.
Well, I mean, at this point in time, if that happens and he gets away, you've got to hope you get lucky. And with somebody like that, and hope that he's the guy. I mean, I think when Mozzie Smith was drafted, and the jury's still out on Mozzie Smith, don't get me wrong, but we all thought that was a great pick. It's a need that they needed to address, but he just didn't work out, right? And to be fair to him, he's a young kid. It's the NFL, and I get all of that. But if you're drafted number one by any team, you need to produce at least some. And Mozzie really didn't do much of anything. So you got to get lucky with draft picks, and that's what you hope. The Cowboys are going to have to get lucky with a running back. Because I think that's the way they're going to go with that. Tony Pollard would have to take one hell of a discount to come back to this team. And I'm just not sure that he's going to be willing to do that. He may not have any choice, though, with the way running backs are going. So they're going to have to save some money. They're going to have to cut here, cut there, and make some difficult decisions. And then just hope that you get lucky. If that's the way you're going to go, I think maybe you add a free agent or two, perhaps. But you're going to have to hope to get lucky in the draft to fill some of these holes.
Last one before we go, and I'm glad you brought up Mozzie Smith, because we've seen the Cowboys and in other years of the draft, they very much kind of feel like a best player available type of drafting team. Except last year. Last year, it felt like they were jumped in order for the Bills to get Dalton Kincaid, and they went, oh no, what's our biggest need at this point? Then it's defensive tackle. Mozzie Smith's the best on the board. Oh no, second round, tight end still flying off the board. Luke Schoonmaker's the best one still. Like, it felt like almost every pick last year was them trying to address a need rather than go best player available the way that they've normally done. And I think it's a careful line you got to walk when you're talking about going into the draft and saying we need to address these positions because they are a need on this team. Yes, they may be a need, but drafting for need doesn't always mean you're going to knock it out of the park.
No, and you're absolutely right. And look, as we sit here today, last year's draft was a disaster. I mean, look at it. Your first and second round pick didn't do much of anything. And then you take Deuce Vaughn with the last pick, and that was a disaster. So, you know, 3 of the 6 weren't very good at all. Maybe Mozzie and Schoonmaker turn out to be something eventually, but at least for now, I'm pretty confident in saying 3 of those 6 weren't good at all. So, you know, maybe it is better off for the Cowboys to just say best player available. You might not agree with Cowboy fans, but you know what? We like this guy and we can make room for him, and we'll figure out the other stuff. And that's the draft, right? Depending on what you need and what you want to do and who's there, who falls to you. That's why it's so much fun.
He is Joe Reinigle. Catch him weekdays on the Blitz from 2 to 6 as they keep you up to date on everything. Joe, my friend, enjoy Gretchen Wilson and Big and Rich.
I appreciate it, man. We're headed there now.
Take it easy, my friend.
See ya.
That is Joe Reinigle. He joins us on the Buyers Barricades guest line, as all our guests do. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. They're online at buyersbarricades.com. The Spurs were back in action last night and get back at it again today. Are we at a point of the season where we have to loot for losses now? What do you think? 656 ESPN 210-656-3776. Can you push yourself back down that road again? Give me a call. Let me know what you think. 210-656-3776. 656 ESPN, or you can comment along with the show on our YouTube live feed at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe, drop a comment. We're talking Spurs next, right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs rodeo road trip continues. The Lakers and the Jazz are in the rearview mirror. Here come the Timberwolves on Tuesday night. We'll look at what happened and where they're going. Wimby Watch 24 continues.
Plus, it's NFL Combine Week. The Dallas Cowboys and Houston Texans each have the same goal, but potentially different paths on how they want to get there, and it all starts now. Make sure to show up bright and early. We start at 6.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
You're going to do your strip club DJ. Introduce whoever you feel.
High C to the side say.
High C?
Yeah, she had 9 feet of legs, and that C was high. I'm not proud.
Yeah.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches. Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches.
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
After years of discomfort, it's like I'm alive again.
Sonia Hackett talks about how QC Kinetics changed her life.
QC Kinetics has given me my quality of life back.
Before QC Kinetics, Sonia suffered from horrible knee and back pain stemming from a car accident.
I was wearing knee braces just to try to maneuver around.
Sonia hated the idea of pain meds, and surgery seemed too risky. So she turned to the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, the leaders in advanced regenerative medicine.
That consultation just changed my life. I can do the treadmill, everything. I don't have anything holding me back. The quality of life is pain-free. QC Kinetics has made us very happy.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today.
I'm going to get emotional again. They are like family members to me. They care.
Call QC Kinetics now.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new wipers.
No problem. How about Bosch Prime Active or Envision?
Get in the zone.
I know what you're thinking. Why Bosch Prime Active or Envision? They're both designed to minimize glare for clearer, safer driving.
Get in the zone.
Okay, great. Do you have any special offers on them?
Right now, you can get a $10 bonus reward when you buy a pair.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Offer available to AutoZone Rewards members.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. If you have downloaded the Prize Picks app and you're playing, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to those that think that there's something out of reach. If you want to play a game that your skill plays a role in, I want you to download Prize Picks because it's about more or less. It's not about winning and losing. Use your knowledge to pick out who is going to do the best and decide whether it's going to be more or less. A couple of clicks before you know it, you're playing the game. And it's all about the knowledge. Download Prize Picks. You'll see what I'm talking about. Basketball is in full swing. The tournament's just around the corner. There is no better way to apply your knowledge than Prize Picks. You know your guys. You know what they're capable of. Is it higher or lower? 2 or 3 clicks, more and more X's, more and more money. And if you download Prize Picks now and use the word Alamo in your promo code, there's $100 to play with. More or less, a couple of clicks, go do it. It's Prize Picks. Start play today. Thank me later.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate everybody for riding along with me tonight, whether that's on 94.1, sasportstar.com, or on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star, also on Twitch. Fred Records says Ryan Eagle doing 2 concerts in a week. Do you think he can be good on Monday? He'll be fine. He's got all weekend to rest up or continue to push that envelope even further down. However he decides to take that, I'm positive he'll be good on Monday. But the San Antonio Spurs, well, we're in a moral victory phase. And look, they only lost to the Kings, who are a good team by 5. They were in it. They won the 4th quarter. And Pop was proud of their effort.
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud of them. We made mistakes. They made mistakes. But, they're an experienced team now. The young kids have grown up, and Fox are all-star caliber players. They added some free agents. They're a good basketball team now and can play anybody. And for us to do what we did, I couldn't be more proud of them.
Are we at the point of the season where it is in our best interest for the Spurs to lose? Have we passed the point where, look, we were looking for wins, we were looking for better, we were looking for the positive growth of this young team early on? But would that be a disservice to get a bunch of wins late? 656 ESPN, 210-656-3776 if you want to be a part of the show, or if you want to comment along on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. I strive to be one of the most interactive shows in San Antonio. Thanks to y'all for reaching out and doing what y'all do, because I am a conduit to you, the fan, and we are all fans here, and we just have to get things off our chest every once in a while. But I was thinking about it after last night's game, in which, look, even if this draft isn't the best draft in terms of Victor Wembanyama, having the most ping pong balls, and even if you don't get the first pick, second, third, whatever, maybe Nikola Topic is the Spurs' apple of their eye, a big 6'5", 6'7" point guard from Serbia that can do a bunch of things. That feels like it could be a possibility in continuing to grow this team the way that Oklahoma City did when they went and got out Josh Giddey. Like, that would be one of the ways to build this team. The other is, you've heard the Trae Young rumors. And with the Trae Young rumors comes draft capital. Well, the one funny thing about draft capital is the Spurs have a ton of it, and they can use it whenever they want. It's gonna cost you to go get a Trae Young. Most likely, it is gonna cost you a combination of picks and players. Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, maybe, who knows, but also picks, future picks. But if you have a guaranteed after the lottery, you're picking 1, 2, or 3. That pick holds value in terms of, you know exactly what it is at that point. Everything else is a future projection. It could be better, it could be worse. Much like the Houston Texans did with their future first, giving theirs up and holding on to Cleveland's. Cleveland's is the worst of the two picks now all of a sudden, and Arizona is picking later because the Texans were better. Same thing can happen. Spurs get better, they give away their picks, and all of a sudden they are, especially when you acquire a Trae Young, you expect that team to become better in those picks, not to be as good. But if you're holding a third or second or first overall, all of a sudden that is a much more enticing trade chip than a future pick in which you have Trae Young, one of the better players in today's game, along with one of the most sought after and up and coming players in NBA history since LeBron James and Victor Wembanyama. What say you? 656 ESPN, 210-656-3776. Matthew dialed into the show. Matthew, what's up? What's going on?
How you
Welcome
doing,
on to
Pledge?
Extra Innings with Pledge.
Appreciate you having me again, Pledge.
Of
Appreciate you
course,
having
my
me.
man. What
You
you
know,
got?
So I feel like we did make a mistake with DeJounte. I feel like Pop had got DeJounte to be the guard that we want now, and I think letting him go, regardless of if we wanted to let him win or let him play all that, I feel like we should have kept him 100%. He's the perfect guard for our system. He's long, 6'5", 6'6", top 5, point guard defender in the league, all that. I don't like the Trae Young trade, and I'm just saying it based off of his defense. I don't feel like it fits well in our scheme. He's undersized. He gets strapped. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like it's going to put a lot of pressure on our younger guards and our younger forwards to alleviate that and, all that things. I just feel like we definitely tank the rest of the season. We've already been experienced it for 2 years off the jump. We do that real quick. And the main reason, regardless of everything else, the only thing we should be focusing on is getting Wemby everything he asked for, when and where to keep him. That should be our main focus. That regardless of everything else, championship, all that's going to happen if Wemby's here. We just need to keep Wemby here.
What if Wemby wants Trae Young?
Then we need to get him. I'm not saying we don't get him. I'm just saying there could be better options we'll start, when these guards start playing,
And I will
hard
say
and,
this, Matthew, in terms of DeJounte Murray, if you keep DeJounte Murray, you don't have Victor Wembanyama.
I get that. I get that. But he could have sat, we could have faked the injury here and there. You know that. I was faking injuries left and right. And it is what it is. Hey, we should fake an injury for DeJounte. He can collect that check just like every NBA player wants to do. And he can be injured, wink, wink. He can be injured, and we can lose games, and we can have the best of both worlds. I don't know if that's illegal or not.
But a player who's not injured that needs to play, especially in order to reach incentives in terms of being able to maximize their value because their value is tied in with all NBA and stuff like that. A lot of players don't want to sit because of things like that. And it's become even worse now with the new rules.
No, with the new 65 game limit on the rule for incentives and all that stuff needs to be structured. I mean, I feel like the NBA instead all NBA defensive team incentives. I feel like that should not even be really a thing. I understand it, but I just feel like it's like in the players. Like I feel like the NBA PA should have handled that or whatever the case may be, or went a different direction with that. Because now you see, with the 65 game limit, you see all these players complaining about this and that and all this other things in the third. But at the end of the day, the team comes first. I mean, the players, the players are going to get paid. I feel like, well, of course, now, you bring up the incentives for the All NBA team and things like that, but they're going to get paid, players. You know that.
Yeah.
They're going to get paid. And I said the structuring definitely messes it up, but I feel like we definitely should have kept DeJounte or at least made a harder push for Dame in terms of, because we did have assets at the time. We do. I mean, we still do have assets. And I get, Damian Lillard wanted to go to the Heat and all that, but I mean, come on now. Damian Lillard, he's over there playing with Giannis, and Giannis can't shoot. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want to play with Wemby? Why wouldn't you want to play with Wemby and pop? That's all I got to say.
I appreciate it, Matthew. And then as it comes to Dame, look, I get it. I was also an advocate of go get stars to build around Wemby while he's cheap and young and build this thing the way you did with Tim and David and everything else and hit the ground running. But in terms of, I also understood, and I said this at the time, they're going one of two ways. They were either going to vet load up, which they did not do.
Right.
Or they were going to see what they had in some of their young players, i.e. Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Malachi Branham, and Blake Wesley. They're going to see what they had in them, what fits with Victor Wembanyama, and as we saw early in the season, where Victor Wembanyama even fit within the constructs of the Spurs. Was he a 5? Was he a 4? Was he a 3? Find out where they play him. Once they figured that out, now they're finding out who plays with him. And that's what the season's been about, is trying to figure out, A, what is Wemby, and B, what pieces that are on this team still fit with Wemby. And I think if there's going to be a shakeup, that's coming this year now.
And he's definitely a 4, right? I mean, just in terms of scoring power, I know high 7, 7'4" or 7'2", 7'4" wingspan, all that strength.
Yeah, he's a 4 or 5.
Yeah, he's a 4. We definitely need I like college. I liked him in the beginning of the year and all that. I understand what he brings in terms of alleviating some of the rebounding pressure and all that, or it really just the defensive workload in terms of maybe more on ball where Wemby plays outside, and that's why he's able to get all these blocks and everything like that. But we definitely get a center, and we definitely focus on our guards. Jonathan, KJ, all them boys can lead. Devin Vassell, I'm still 50-50 on, to be honest with you. All these other boys can lead. They can lead.
Look, it's been proven by the metrics. Wemby's efficiency as a 5 is through the roof. So,
right.
I mean, you play him at the 4, you play him at the 5, but he's definitely a front court guy that can
absolutely.
do a
Either
bunch
way,
of other things.
Matter.
I appreciate the phone call,
sir.
Matt.
No problem. Yeah, I'm doing better.
You too, my man. Have a great weekend. 656 ESPN 210-656-3776 if you want to be a part of the show. John Dyer tweets into the show, if we get Toronto's pick this season and that pick actually conveys, I'm okay with not going after Young. Draft a wing and a point guard. Young as in Trey Young. Yeah, I get it. of the defensive inefficiencies with Trae Young, would prefer not Trae Young. I could go with or without. Look, there's a reason that Atlanta brought in DeJounte Murray, because they wanted a backcourt partner that did play defense and got down to it. But Trae Young brings a bunch of things that this team desperately needs: shooting, court vision, a true point guard, a scoring point guard, just a bunch of things that this team currently lacks. He does have them, and they do lack on the defensive end. But can you offset that with the length of Devin Vassell and Victor Wembanyama, and maybe drafting another wing, or maybe even Topic, and having him and Vassell and Young as a backcourt, and then Victor and another big up front? It's going to be very interesting to see what the Spurs do this offseason. What say you? 656 ESPN 210-656-3776, or you can comment along in our YouTube live chat at SA Sports Star. I am James Pledger. You're listening to Extra Innings with Pledger right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, speaking of the Spurs, they could have a new home very, very soon. A lot of people seem very excited. Some people not so much. What about the Spurs' new arena do you most want to see or not want to see? Let me know. 656 ESPN 210-656-3776. More on Extra Innings with Pledger coming up next.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Death is the only punishment here.
Coming this February, FX's Shogun.
My master asks what you seek here.
To vanquish our common enemies.
Based on the global bestseller by James Clavell.
War is coming.
The epic saga of war, passion, and power.
Let it come.
FX's Shogun, February 27th on Hulu.
If you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement.
Wait, what?
Add a Robinhood IRA on top, then they'll boost it by 3%.
You can do that?
And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that.
Is there a limit to the match?
No limit. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at Robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Meal enhancement pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax.
Touchdown!
A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here from my friends over at SA Card House. You know where it is. It's over on 281 in Bitters. My private card house. You better make them yours. It's private entry. You need to be a member. But membership, well, I'll tell you what, it does have its benefits. When you go play at SA Card House, there's things you need to expect. The vibe is always going to be spectacular. Foster's Grill is going to bring you great food morning, noon, and night. The hours are going to be appropriate to when you want to play. They're going to have the cash games you're chasing. They're going to have the environment that you're going to want to bring friends and family to. And then you add to the special that only SA Card House can bring. And it's just for being there that you get to enjoy. Like the Bad Beats tournament that's going on all month long. $5,000 Bad Beat table distribution. 40% goes to the loser of a hand. Winner can pull 20%. Reset amount is $5,000. It's progressive after 2 months. There's so much going on with the Bad Beat tournament. Love it or risk it continues all February long. 120 to 200K giveaway just for the month. Listen, SA Card House, 281 in Bitters. Go today. Thank me later.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
In celebration of the 10th anniversary, Disney's Frozen is coming to podcasting with a brand new story. The Frozen podcast features Anna.
I want to know about that.
Elsa.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Olaf.
I don't get it.
And Kristoff.
Are we going on another adventure?
Oh no. Of course. Experience Disney Frozen Forces of Nature, available now on your favorite podcast app.
Tax day is coming.
Oh, no.
But if you sign up for Robinhood Gold's IRA with a 3% match, you can get up to $195 for the 2023 tax year.
Oh, yeah.
Sign up at Robinhood.com/boost by tax day to get the biggest contribution match on the market. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Robinhood Financial, LLC, member SIPC.
This is
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, SASportsStar.com. Appreciate everybody for riding along with me this evening as we get you to the top of the hour and your weekend. We're talking about the Spurs' possible new arena as a Texan Institute of Culture going to be sold to or leased to the city. And most believe that would be the site of the new Spurs arena. What say you in terms of, are you on board with this project? 656 ESPN 210-656-3776. Cowboy James, welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure, my man. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing okay, Pledge. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, I got you, my man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I say, I'm for the new arena being built. As long as we can use the restaurant tax and stuff like that, if it's built downtown. I hate to see that the east side was not developed the way they said it was going to be, to give that side of town, an economic boost. But as far as in agreement with a stadium, an arena being built, I'm okay with that. I am going to say this, as long as it's, not 281, 1604, where, Stone Oak, where, that side of town gets richer and, the poor side of town gets left out. And I'm going to leave it right there. But I am in agreement, if we could put it downtown, let the sales tax thing, pay for it like we did the Dome.
Mm-hmm.
But one question, where are we going to park? Because even when we have youth there's not a lot of parking downtown.
Well, the good news is you're looking at probably less people for a Spurs game than you would be a UTSA game for most of it anyway. You're going to have less than 20,000 for an NBA arena. I do believe the Alamo Dome parking lot can handle most of that, plus whatever is on site near the arena. And on top of that, I think you build kind of all around that a bar district, kind of like Texas Live, Xfinity Live, the Deer District, Toronto, like all those places that have these awesome venues to drink, celebrate, watch the game, enjoy with the people that went to the game once it's over, just kind of a whole vibe there. And then you build a sky bridge across 281 that brings the parking lot and everything from the dome over to the other side where the Texan Institute of Cultures is. Like that's the most feasible way I see to kind of connect that whole area and make it this one big kind of sports metroplex.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with that. I mean, the restaurant, maybe even a little nightclub down there or something. I mean,
yeah.
Because if you can't afford a ticket, like you say, you can at least be down there, in the atmosphere, especially if it's a championship atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a big party, man.
Yeah, and there's something about especially FOMO and all that other stuff that really happens like with Wemby, and everybody felt the FOMO from the Roo Pub of not being there when the draft lottery happened after they saw the viral videos that were released. It was just the place to be.
The crowd went crazy. I saw that. The crowd went crazy, and it'll be the same vibe, if we build a sports district and stuff like that. Like I say, I'm all for that. A little disappointed that it didn't get, that side of town didn't get developed the way it was promised. But hey, we have to move on, and we have to do what's best for the Spurs, San Antonio, and so forth. And I'm okay with that.
I appreciate you, Cowboy James.
Yes, sir. Take care, players.
You too. Have a great weekend.
Yes, sir.
Fred Records on our YouTube Live. Oh, Cowboy James, what a way to end the show. Have a great weekend. Woohoo! I couldn't agree more, man. Cowboy James, what a great way to end the show. This is
Sports Center. Kevin Richard, 10 game slate in the NBA tonight, and that means 20 teams are playing. Of the 20 teams, 14 are on the second night of a back-to-back. We haven't had that many teams play on the second night of a back-to-back in almost 5 years. Game one of an ESPN television doubleheader. The Cavaliers and the Sixers. Philadelphia, without Joel Embiid, is in an utter free fall. They've lost 10 of 13. They're 6-15 this season without Embiid. Cavaliers lost last night. So did Philly, by the way. Cleveland is up 4, 22-18, 3:11 to go in the opening quarter. Game two of the ESPN doubleheader has the Bucks and the Timberwolves. This is a good matchup. All eyes are on Milwaukee here in the second half. The last time Doc Rivers' team was on the court, a week ago Thursday when they lost to Memphis.
We had some guys here. We had some guys in Cabo.
Some guys were there. Some guys were in Cabo. That's not what you're looking for, Doc. Bucks 3-7 under Doc. Timberwolves 39-16, number one seed in the Western Conference. Coverage starts 2 hours from now on ESPN television. Back to the games in progress. Well, I should say game, singular. Raptors and Hawks. Toronto is up by 10, 23-13. This hour, Phoenix is in Houston. Clippers and the Grizzlies. Clippers, one of 4 teams in the West, separated by 2.5 games at the top. Oklahoma City's in that bunch. They get set to host the Wizards. Heat are in the Big Easy taking on the Pelicans. The salary cap in the NFL goes up $30.6 million for next season, largest single season increase since the cap came into effect in